this video, we will learn how to draw a table in Adobe Illustrator. We're going to do it a really easy way. So I'm going to go over here to my toolbar. If you don't see two columns like this, go up to Window, go down to Toolbars, and click Advanced. That gives you the two columns. I like the two columns. I think it's better. But go over here to the Rectangle tool. If you don't see the rectangle, maybe you see a circle right here. It should be below the T. If you don't see a rectangle, click and hold, and you'll see a menu that pops up. And then click on the rectangle. You're going to draw the rectangle of the size that you want. This is the overall size of the table that you're looking for. Let's just do something like that. And then you want to make sure it has a white fill or red fill or whatever color you want. It doesn't really matter, but it needs to be filled. And the importance of that is we're going to split this into equal size grid. And it's much easier to click on those individual cells of the table if it has a fill in the background. Okay, so then we're going to go to Edit, or actually, we're going to go to Object. Then we're going to go to Path, and then you're going to split into grid. I'm going to click the preview so that you can kind of see what's going on. And this is where you specify the number of rows and columns. So we can add a column and we can add rows. Now I love the split into grid tool. It's just the coolest thing. So I'm gonna make several rows. I'm gonna make columns, and there's all sorts of parameters that you can change. For a table, you're not gonna have gutters and all that kind of thing. You're just gonna have rows and columns. Okay, you're gonna click OK. And the cool thing about this is it creates a table, and it creates individual squares for the individual cells, and that makes it really easy to type into text. So I'm going to hold Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. I'm going to group this object, and I group it by clicking with my left mouse button and dragging and then releasing. So I select all the objects, and I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to press G. If you're not familiar with grouping, it's a really useful tool. Just be sure to use it because it organizes your work a lot better. Now, in order to access these different cells, you have to double click, and that gets you inside the group. And so now you can change the appearance of the table. You can maybe put a have a title row. Maybe you can make this lighter, so we can click the same color as that one, but I'm gonna make this a little lighter. So I'm gonna go over here to Color Guide, and if you don't see this Color Guide, go up to Window, go down to Color Guide, and when you click on this, a window is gonna pop up. You click on that window and drag it over to the side, and then you'll see it. So I love this Color Guide because then it gives you different hues for that particular color. So you can maybe do a lighter color like that, and then you can highlight this and this row, type in the I like that, click the selection tool again, click that. We're just formatting the appearance of the cells, and you can change this afterwards. We're just making it look kind of fancy. So now we have this grouped I clicked away, so now I'm no longer in the grouped object. I'm going to click on this table, but what I need to do is I'm going to create a whole different table, and then this new table that I'm going to lay on top of this one is going to be what I'm actually going to type into. So I'm going to hold Alt. You see that little triangle that pops up on the bottom right? I'm going to then click on my mouse. I'm going to drag with the mouse, and then this is important. I'm going to release on the mouse first, then I'm going to release the Alt key. So that the sequence of those key presses is important in order to make that copy. Okay, so now this is going to be what I'm actually going to type into, but I don't want to be able to select this anymore because if I do, then it might really mess things up, because I want this to stay permanent, at least temporarily permanent for right now. So I'm going to click on this object. I'm going to go over here to Layers. Now, if you don't see Layers over here, you need to go up to Window, go down to Layers, and then drag it over. Honestly, I would just see everything that I have here and find those windows in this list, because if you don't have all these, It really slows you down. Okay, so let's quickly, I'm going to click on this object here. This is going to be our format, cell format table. Go over here to layers, and you'll see a menu that pops up. Click down on this layer because there's only one layer for this entire document. So here you can see the different grouped object. This one, and if you're not sure which one you've selected, you see this little square that indicates that this is the one that's selected. If you want to change that, you just click over here. See, now notice that this one's selected now. So let's click over to here. I'm going to lock that. So now I can't select that even if I wanted to. But this table is not locked at all. So I can drag it over and I'm just going to put it right on top. See, just like that. And so now I'm just going to add the text to the table. Really simple. So I'm going to click on text. And at this point, what I would do is I'm going to click on this, right click, and then I'm going to ungroup. That just makes it easier so that I can add the text. So when I click on the text, make sure that you see that path show up. So now it's going to fill. What it did is it converted that square that was originally filled with blue and had a black outline. It actually made it it erased all the fills and just replaced that box with a text box. And so now I'm going to say name. Okay, now I'm going to click over here and I'm going to say, I don't know, age. Click over here and I'm going to say grade. Okay, so now I want to format these. So notice these are text boxes. Okay, they're no longer, if I drag this out, see it's clear. It completely converted into a text box. I'm just undoing that by holding Control and press C. Type in all the data and then format everything together. So let me go back to the text. I'm going to click on the edge and then I'm going to say John. I'm going to click over here. Oh, that's going to, so let's just do grade 95. Okay. Okay, just make sure that whenever you're selecting it, that you see that box is selected. And then you're going to say age 12. Okay, so now that we have all the data text in, or now that we have all of the numbers, the data typed in, now we're going to change the format of all the text boxes. So I'm going to highlight all of these, and you should see a menu that says character, regular, 12 point, and all this alignment. If you don't see that, then you have selected a box that has not been converted into a text box. So make sure everything that you typed in all the data, and we're gonna center align it. We need to make it centered in the text box. So I'm gonna just click over here to center. So now everything is in the center. And that's it. That's how you make a beautiful table in Adobe Illustrator. So it's super easy, super fast. Now, let's say you want to modify all the different components. Maybe you want to modify this cell. Maybe you don't want this blue or something like that. Highlight all of these text boxes. Group it, Control G. Go back to your layers, and then you can lock it. And then you can unlock the bottom layer. So now you can select the different objects. Okay, so that's nice. Another thing you can do, you can unlock both of them, highlight everything, go over here to the color guide, then go down here to edit and apply colors. Reset, then go over here to edit. And now you can change the color of all of the things uniformly. See? And then if you lock this, you can just choose whatever color it was, whatever color you want. Now, I mean, this recolor artwork is just, it's magical. I mean, it's so cool.